Senator Reed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Director, for joining us today. And like many of my colleagues, I'm still reeling from the proposed House Republican budget, which would substantially cut EPA. In fact, I think from your letter, you indicated it'd be the lowest funding level since 2013. In 2013, I was chairman of the committee, and Senator Murkowski was a ranking member. A lot has changed since 2013, yes. And a lot of new problems have emerged. We're requiring resources to deal with those problems. One of the issues we've all spoken about is the lead pipe challenge and making sure everyone has clean drinking water. The proposed Republican budget would slash $626 million from that program. It would set it back tremendously. But there's so many other areas, and one area that I think would be also hit would be appropriate staffing levels for EPA so it could do its job. Is that a concern you have?
It is a concern. It is a concern, whether it be thinking through our enforcement capabilities to help disadvantaged communities that are impacted by lead or by PFAS or by chemical facilities, or again, whether it's in my engagements with our agriculture community. The courts have taken away so many tools from our farmers. They have taken so many pesticides and herbicides off the shelves. We need the staff and the resources to get new products on the market so that our farmers can have all the tools that they need.
Well, I think also from your experience as a state regulator, you know that one of the most frustrating things is to go to a regulatory agency, and because they're understaffed, underfunded, they're not able to respond to a request for a permit or anything else. And what that does is undercut, frankly, the faith in the institution. And I'm beginning to think more and more that this approach of budget cutting is not just about saving money, it's about devaluing the institutions that are necessary to compete and succeed in this world. That might be more commentary than question, but any thoughts you have?
I think that's absolutely correct. Listen, I've spent more time than any administrator with our agriculture community. I just did a session with a bunch of CEOs and executives from the auto industry. I've met with all of our CEOs in the power industry. We have staff that are working with their staffs to be sure that we're taking advantage of the latest technologies. And we have forged a relationship so that we can keep this country globally competitive. Reduction in staff really does reduce our ability to help our economy grow and help us to be sustainable.
And with respect to the lead pipe issue, which we talked about, I can't emphasize enough how critical it is, because exposure to lead in a child has extreme consequences, neurological development, cognitive development, and there are a lot of young people, because they've been not fortunate enough to live in wealthy communities, have been exposed to lead-infected, perhaps, water, and their ability to function is impaired for a lifetime. So this is I think, not just a issue of cost-benefit analysis, it's also a moral imperative. And I think we have to do much more, and cutting these monies seems to me to be not just inefficient, but rejecting a commitment we should have.
I absolutely agree. We received, fortunately, $15 billion from the bipartisan infrastructure law. But over the past year, we've worked with every state in the country. We've developed a more robust inventory. We know that we have 9 million lead service lines in this country. We know that's close to 40 billion in needs. We have to close this gap. There is absolutely no acceptable or safe level of lead exposure for our children or for anyone.
Thank you very much, Director. Director, one of the programs we were able to pull together was the geographic programs of EPA, and we were fortunate enough to create one that dealt with Southern New England, the Southern New England program, or SNEP. And one of the critical reasons, it's a problem that Senator Murkowski doesn't have because Alaska is pretty big, but Narragansett Bay occupies a large portion of our state, but its waters come from two adjacent states, Massachusetts and Connecticut. So unless we have a regional approach to issues of pollution, et cetera, we can't literally effectively control the quality of water in Narragansett Bay, the quality of water throughout Rhode Island. So we have this program, which is extremely effective, and it's one of several programs throughout the United States. And again, they are in severe jeopardy of being eliminated, underfunded, or understaffed. Can you speak to the importance of these programs and also the efficiency?
I can. Very important program. And listen, in the president's budget, there's an increase of $78,000 above 2023 that we would like to help ensure and bolster this program. The SNEP program, as you said, serves as a hub to enable protection and restoration of coastal watersheds of the Southeast New England. Protecting these watersheds and ecosystems, ecosystem services provide and help sustain the region's communities and environmental assets well into the future. And I will say that we recognize this program draws on a network of stakeholders and experts that seek out and support innovative practices that complement the work that all of us are doing to protect this watershed. So extremely, extremely important, and also a great organization and a great program that does a lot of good work, not just for the ecosystem, as you know, but for the economy in our New England states.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Director. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.